Welcome to Shepherd's Table. I'm your host, Ian Parkinson, and I have with me today Pastor Patrick from Heights Baptist. Welcome, Pastor Patrick.
Thank you, Ian.
So what's new with you?
Well, in our church, we recently had 14 individuals from our congregation go and attend a meeting of the Medicine Hat Pro-Life Association. And our 14 people from our congregation brought a lot of life because there were 5 older Roman Catholics who are tired and have kind of been holding down the fort with this organization. And, we want to encourage Christian believers from other congregations to come and participate in the work of promoting the pro-life message as well. We live in a culture of death, whether it's abortion or medical assistance in dying. Lives are being taken of babies in the womb. Lives are being taken from elderly people or disabled people, or maybe people who have mental health issues. And we want to encourage Christians to come together and support life.
So these 14 are all from your congregation?
That's right, yeah. And normally the meetings are small. They were used to 6 or 7 people, and we filled up the room, of course. There was the 19 people there. And we participate, there's something called the life chain that happens every fall. We stand out on Dunmore Road with signs. There's something called the Hike for Life that happens in the spring. And I know as well the Pro-Life Association has a booth at the Stampede every year, again, promoting the message of life. And I think that people just don't realize how serious these things are. Abortion is something that people don't want to talk about. Churches don't want to talk about, politicians. What is abortion? So often it's a doctor taking forceps into the mother's womb and dismembering the baby, cutting off the arms, cutting off the legs, crushing the skull, and then pulling all these body parts out. It's absolutely devastating. And the effects that come out of abortion, it increases a woman's chances of breast cancer. It contributes, of course, to post-abortion syndrome and depression. These are serious issues we need to talk about. And medical assistance in dying, on the other end of things, is expanding rapidly. Yeah. I think it's now the 6th leading cause of death in Canada. These are important issues that Christians need to be talking about.
So if somebody who's in the congregation or just wants to get involved in pro-life, who do they call, where do they go, who do they talk to?
Sure. Well, the next meeting of the Pro-Life Association is in January. And I, of course, should have recalled the date. It's a Monday evening. I think it's the 13th or something like that. I'm not looking at a calendar. It's at St. Patrick's Catholic Church here in Medicine Hat. And certainly you could contact the church and they would be able to provide you with that information. But we'd like to see, representatives in different churches promoting things like the Life Chain or the Hike for Life and things like that, having volunteers work at the Stampede grounds. This is not just a Roman Catholic issue. It's not just a Baptist issue. This is a Christian issue. And it's really something that more people need to be involved in.
It's very both ends of that spectrum are very quietly crept into the mainstream of society, and like you say, nobody wants to talk about it because somebody always gets excited.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about it, and the government really has sort of implied, for example, that they're going to take away charitable status from, anti-abortion organizations. They call it pro-life organizations, whether it's churches or pregnancy support centers, things like that. So, yeah, there's that implied threat. But the government, of course, they threaten people in regards to LGBTQ, conversion therapy bans, COVID and misinformation and disinformation. And we can't be preaching and promoting based on what the government is telling us to do. We need to be preaching the truth, and we need to be advocates for life. And in so many ways, I don't know how much time we have, but when we look at pagan society back in Israel, the Baal worship, the Asherah worship, there were 2 aspects to pagan worship, and one was sexual. There was the gods and the goddesses of fertility and the temple prostitutes and the sex aspect of idol worship. And then there was the child sacrifice aspect of idol worship, where the babies were thrown into the fire. And so we have this emphasis on sexuality and on child sacrifice in pagan idol worship thousands of years ago. And today, when we look at our society, there's so much emphasis on sexuality, pornography, drag queens, LGBTQ, whatever the issue is, it's sex, sex, sex. And then over here, the issue of abortion is really child sacrifice. It's not convenient for me to have this baby or whatever, so the baby will be sacrificed on that altar of convenience. And so history repeats itself. And I think that even the temple of Satan, views abortion as a religious ritual.
Yeah.
That this is something sacred to them. And it's obviously evil. And, Christians, I think, need to join together and stand against it. We need to support a culture of life.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you, Ian.
Fight the good fight.
Amen.
Thank you for coming in, Pastor Patrick.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching.